One of them being like the kind of fee switch or more the revenue sharing revolution that we're seeing in the DeFi space. And this is actually a prediction we also made during our market outlook of 2025. DeFi is a sector we've always been very bullish on, but the one issue that I would argue it had, or the one issue that, yeah, the very issue it had was that while it's while the projects itself were very useful, the tokens themselves were not very investable. And what I mean by that is that a lot of the benefits of these projects weren't actually passed down to the end token holder. Now, with the more pro crypto environment and administration in the US, we're seeing that these DeFi projects are behaving more traditional equities in a way, like traditional startups, in the sense that they can implement a little bit more features to their token than what was previously possible, because under the previous administration, they were firing kind of Wells notices left and center to the DeFi projects. Now that's not happening anymore. And so thanks to this pro crypto environment, we're seeing a lot of them pass down revenue to the end user in two different ways. We're seeing some protocols turn on what is called fee switches, where in some shape or form, the revenue that these projects make get programmatically shared with the token holder. We're seeing this on Aave, we're seeing this on Uniswap, but we're also seeing more of these projects engage in buybacks, token buybacks. This is similar to what you would see in the traditional space with share buybacks. And there's also some projects going down this avenue like DYDX. There's a lot more. We could go on this a lot more. I think Hyperliquid also have something similar. But altogether, what we're seeing from the DeFi space is that the tokens will be far more investable from this point onwards. And a little bit of related news to those who were here with us in the last session is with regards to the Bybit hacker. The Bybit hacker actually used Tornado Cash, which is a kind of like transaction mixer to try to siphon away some of the funds it managed to take from the exchange. And now there's actually the founder or the co-founder of Tornado Cash is actually set to go on trial for conspiracy to commit money laundering. And we don't mean to talk about this in specific, but I just was also curious to gauge the audience's view on this point. The founder really created a technology, and because that technology is now being misused or is in the hands of the wrong person, the co-founder is in legal troubles. And in my view, my personal view, just to be clear, a technology is an innovation that you should segregate away from the end use. So if we think about iPhones, how many crimes that we don't know about are happening because someone texted something on an iPhone? Are the people who are Apple liable for this or not? So it raises a very kind of interesting dilemma here, a little bit of a one that I think we'll have some different views on as well, depending on who you are. But then in other news, we had actually BlackRock come over to Switzerland, to where we're actually based in. And that's another kind of stamp of approval for, firstly, what we're doing here at 21 Shares, but also of the wider industry. BlackRock, of course, are an incredible institution, but for our European investors and more so for our Swiss investors, you guys will all know that 21 Shares was the very first to launch a physically backed crypto ETP in Europe. And we also recently had a campaign across Switzerland where if you are based in Zurich, you also see a couple of yellow billboards everywhere, and that's us. And it's a good reminder that here in Switzerland, we pride ourselves on our innovation and being first movers in the crypto space, and that is what 21 Shares still is. But yeah, another stamp of approval for the wider industry.